Hello and welcome back to Regiments. If you watched the last episode, we held off on the Gaudian flank for quite a while, managed to hold almost every victory point on the map, so we are on to the next stage. We're now in the Uslar Valley, and we are going to be attempting to hold off Warsaw Pact forces while some of our allies retreat through the map. We took some losses last time. We're going to have to spend some points regenerating our units, making sure that we've got enough to hold on through this next phase. I do think that we will be facing some heavy combat here, so it's gonna be tight. I think we'll need just about all of the units we can get. Now we've got 57 operational authority left, and I believe this is the last stage of the operation. So we don't have enough to call in any different task forces. We don't have enough to upgrade this task force, so all we've got left right now is either more tactical support or engineering support, and possibly, restoring another couple of units here. I think what makes the most sense with the 57 points we have is to call in these remaining Fuchs units so that we're back up to full strength. Call in these Fusiliers, so that drops us to 50 points. And then I know I'm not usually a fan of engineering support, but I'm going to take it here since we're going to be on a defensive map. And, that's the one place where you can really use engineers. And then for our card, we'll take divisional artillery. It's our last positive card left. No reason to take the expensive or the negative ones there. Let's go. All right, so this is kind of a unique setup. I really like this mission. Here we say withdrawing allied units will arrive here, and we'll proceed here, so straight down the center road. Victory points will be granted for each unit that successfully reaches the exit. So now we're in deployment mode. We've got 825 deployment points, nothing on the map so far, and there are three angles they can hit us from. One over here on the right side, and then two on the top left. So I think the first most important thing, with the units that aren't mobile, let's set them up first. So let's set a mortar emplacement behind this tree line. And I want to put it behind the tree line so it can't get hit by direct fire. And that's 10 points. And then an anti-tank emplacement wherever it can have the best line of sight. I'm thinking maybe here. Let's see what the line of sight looks like. Yeah, let's throw this anti-tank emplacement down here in cover. I'm not sure if that affects engineer units, but it's worth trying. So now we've got to make sure that number one, we're protecting where these units are coming in. There are some light infantry units here. Let's see. Yeah, Panzer Grenadier rear. I think that just means they're a little lighter than typical Panzer Grenadiers. So we want to make sure they don't cut us off right here. But this other entrance point provides a way for them to sneak around the back and take out our units just as they're about to retreat. So I think here is going to be a good place for, maybe not the best place for Scorpions right there. Who's got long range? Maybe the Jaguar. Make sure we have a good view of the road here. Yeah. So this is a good place for our Jaguars. Which buttons rotate? V. I'm still not great with hotkeys in this game. And then our Weasel Toes. Let's see where I want to cover this entrance here. And they have good vision too. So we'll put them in the tree line there. Our Leopards, I'm going to keep them in a tree line. So that they're not too vulnerable to enemy fire that just comes out in the open. Here, the Scorpions, they're quick and they can react to any enemy forces that come out. Plus, they've got good vision, so we should be able to see enemies and hit them with indirect fire. Now, for some of our infantry, I'm going to leave, I don't know, should I leave the tanks off? No, let's bring all the tanks in. If we can deny them the pond, we shouldn't have to worry about them coming down that other flank. So I'll put my Leopards there so they're ready to jump into the fight if needed. Let's put some mortars, kind of, looking for a place that's safe. Right here. That way they can put fire over here and on this side of the map as well. And that leaves us with 325 points. These infantry have good ATGMs. So let's see. Not a good line of sight there. Let's put them in this town. I think that'll be a good setup. They'll have that urban bonus. So where are we weak? I think here might be our weakest. And these guys have Milan 2s, so they can hit enemies from decently far out and do damage. I don't usually use the Lars. I might need it later. We'll see. So let's just forward deploy some infantry so that they are ready to respond if things start to go south. I'm just going to keep these guys mounted up in wood lines as kind of a rapid reaction force. So let's go. Okay, nothing yet. We have artillery smoke, and we've got a 5-point artillery barrage. So basically anytime we're making contact, if that's available, I'm going to call it in right away. No other cards here besides our divisional artillery. You know, you always get a little nervous if you see a battle group or something else that can really shake up the battle for you. Alright, so here are some of the units that we see passing by. They are lightly armed. You can see they have, you know, almost out of ammo. Some of them are supply trucks. Other ones are armed, but basically, if they get caught, they're in a lot of trouble. So we need to keep the enemies off them rather than relying on them to fight on their own at all. I'm going to move these Fusiliers up here so that we can just get another viewpoint on this entrance to the map. And if I'm looking at where things stand right now, this is probably my weakest point. So I'm going to send my Pioneers up there just to hold it. If they start taking too much fire, then I can pull them back. Alright, so we've got contact. It is so far just infantry, but we do have helicopters as well. And I don't think the units we have in place can take on helicopters. So I'm going to drop artillery on the BTR 70s. Let's see, anything else we're getting hit with? And I'm actually going to direct my weasels to start firing at the helicopters. So now they're moving. The BTRs are moving. They're out in the open. They don't have cover. They're suppressed by artillery. They're blown out. And these Mi-8s, maybe they're only... oh, they do have ATGMs. I was only seeing rockets. But maybe they... yeah, their ATGMs just haven't been super effective. So let's get these leopards out before we take losses. No reason to be heroes right here. And we're still saving up our tactical points as well, so we can call an artillery strike and cluster bombs if we need it. I'd say this is definitely my weakest point right now. Who can I... anything I can send to reinforce that? Not really right now. Maybe I'll redeploy this... no. I'm just going to have my Fusiliers take it on. There we go. So now we've got some contact. We'll send in cluster bombers to take those out. Alright, so we also see... I'm not sure exactly what that is. Mortars, maybe? Alright. Very bold, using airstrikes on their anti-air. So they kind of went around our defenses here. I'm going to bring the leopards back in. Let's see, anything else we can... Alright, so we're getting hit on this side as well. These martyrs are... they're going to have a tough time. because we're just so outnumbered over here. What else do we have? I think I'm going to redirect my leopards away from that front. And let's see. Oh, retreated my jaguars by accident, wrong hotkey. Was playing Warno the other day, and now I'm trying to use Q for an attack. Alright, so we're facing some pretty heavy attacks on this right side also. Let's get these Fusiliers moving. So now we have the leopards coming in. Let's get them up to support this front as quick as we can. And now we have 75 points, so I can call in the Jaegers to try to hold the pond. And we're at 50 points, we'll be going up to 125. Once we hit 75, I think I'm going to call in the Jaguars. Alright, so we've got our artillery barrage. I don't know if we have anyone stationary enough that we can really use it yet. Let's see. Yeah, these guys are stationary. I'm going to take them out with the artillery. And this martyr is in a lot of trouble, so I'm going to pull them out. I am less concerned about losses than I usually am, just because this is the last battle of the campaign. And I don't usually use supply very much, but I'm going to use supply to help out our stationary engineer units. And look at these. The Scorpions are taking on T-64s straight up. The T-64s have ATGMs, their main battle tanks, but our Scorpions are holding out for now. And now we're pulling back. But we'll get these leopards in the wood line. They will take advantage of the cover while we're facing some really heavy attacks. I'm going to slow the game down a bit, just because I need to be able to react to these things better. Now we are getting units through. We haven't lost any yet. And I'd really like to get 3 stars in this operation. I don't know if that's going to happen. Just because of how challenging it is with making sure we can actually hold these points. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. Struggling with that today. Alright, so now we got 225 points. Where do we need to send help? I'll send the Jaguar over there. The Scorpions are good because they're fast. We can get them wherever they're needed right away. This is a time I really wish I had attack helicopters too. Alright, let's see if we can get those Fusiliers out of there while there's still hope. We've got an artillery barrage. This is danger close. Doesn't matter, that unit's dead anyway. These T-64s are going to take some hits. There we go. There's the artillery. So now they're going to have to move, and they're going to be facing leopards. How's everything else holding up? So these Jaegers are doing okay. We actually retook the pond. And our biggest concern right now is ammo. But we have a supply truck on the way. And these riflemen are fully suppressed. So they're going to have a really rough time facing our leopards, which are side-shotting these and should be taking them out no problem. Oh man, that was quick. Where else are we struggling? Alright, so I can flank them with these leopards. And BTRs and BMPs getting side-shotted by leopards, it's not going to be trouble for us. Alright, so they're in our back line. How can we deal with that? Don't know what I have that can take these units out quickly. Hopefully some of these units that are retreating can at least put some fire on them and slow them down. We've got supply trucks, but we also have some Fusiliers. I think they're on AIFV C-25s, which are, you know, have some combat capability at least. Yeah, and these Scorpions, they can take out the BTRs, no problem. Yeah, so that they'll be taken care of. Artillery strike. Yeah, let's drop it right on these guys. Make sure that they are at least suppressed. Where else? Where else are things getting scary? We're getting a lot of units through. I forget how many victory points we need to get our 3 stars. I think what we're gonna have to do is stick closer to the road and kind of have more of a mobile defense than a static defense. Because there are just too many of them to have a static defense where we can hold the line. Where with more mobile defense, we will have to be reactive to where they are. So these leopards are holding out, but there's a lot of them here. So I'm going to call in artillery, and once things start getting too sketchy for the leopards, I'll pull them out. Yeah, let's get out of there before we lose more. Mortars are never bad to have. If you've played some of the other games in this genre, not too similar to Regiments, but Wargames is probably the one that people are most familiar with. I don't like mortars in that game because well, number one, I'm not very good at that game, so my strategies probably aren't worth much. But mortars require a lot of micromanagement, where in this game I love that mortars can be, you just set them up and they will automatically start dropping fire on anyone they see. I like having that kind of hands-off fire support so that I know my units are getting fire support, and I can still focus on doing some other things. Gotta get a little closer so we can supply this Jaguar. Want to keep those units up and running as much as we can. Let's see. Yeah, this unit is not worth much anymore. I think it's a BMP. Can't remember what we had over there. 5 minutes left. We're up to 393 points. M113s, where is that? Okay, it's one of their reserve units. So let's get these Martyr A2s to put fire on them. Once we get in range, we can pop out our riflemen there and get those pushed back. Still not in danger of the road. Where I see danger on the road is right here. So let's see if we can get weasels up there to make sure that they're not getting too close. I'll put these Scorpions up in a position where they can observe a little better. Yeah, now we got a lot of firepower we can bring on these BMPs. We've got side shots, we've got ATGMs. They're taking fire from these Panzer Grenadiers as well as our Panzer Grenadiers in the Martyrs. Up to 25 points, what else? What else? I'll pull the supply trucks out now that our engineers are fully supplied. Up to 400 points. I don't remember how many total points there were available in this. The BMP-2 is a good vehicle. I think they might be a little heavier armored than the Martyr, but I can't remember exactly. They both have ATGMs, so they're probably pretty close. Let's see. 3 armor, front and turret, 5 and 4, so the Martyr's actually heavier armored. With ATGMs that doesn't really matter. If you land a direct hit with an ATGM, it's going down either way. Alright, we need some support here. That's a big attack coming at us. Alright, I don't know if this mortar is in position to be able to fire. That unit's done. So I think the best we can do is get ready for when they try to move further along this road. Let's leave the Jaguar here and send the Weasel to be the next unit we bring over. Let's get these Scorpions set up where I think they can fire on them. Yeah, I've had these Spartans out here the whole game and I don't think they've done anything. I think they just haven't been near combat. And I'm okay with leaving the Fuchs there. That's a weaker unit. And they can at least hold that point and buy us time. Buying us time is all that we really need or can expect right now. I've got an airstrike coming in. Let's see who they hit. Doesn't look like they did a ton. Now let's get these Leopards into a position. If we get them in a good spot, they can probably hit side shot these T-64s coming in. And these Fusiliers, let's get them out. This could be the last big attack we're facing, because we've only got a minute left. Yep. These Jaguars are in a lot of trouble. I'm going to leave them there. What else can I send? Yeah, let's send Scorpions just to hold the road. How many units do we have left here? Anything we can call in for help. 20 seconds we can get an artillery barrage in. That'll barely get in before the end of the battle.
1 minute remaining.
I don't know where they're even getting hit from here. Yeah, we've got to leave them in place. There's nothing else we can do. This Fuchs, let's see. 1 machine gunner, 1 anti-tank left, and some riflemen. They're in bad shape because that Fuchs is not a strong vehicle. Yeah, no time for deployment points. No other units we can call in really at this point. What we've got is what's on the table. Only 18 seconds. I'm trying to think of where we could have gotten more points through this whole operation. I think we'll get at least 2 stars. I don't think we'll get 3. I can't remember exactly. I don't think I see other units moving through. Let's see. 1 second. Alright, so our losses look good. But that's not what wins us the battle. That Scorpion, 6 units of infantry they took out. That's really good for us. Okay, let's see. So there is another phase. That's right. Alright, I would have played much differently if I remembered there was another phase. Alright. So that's going to be a challenge for us. We lost a lot of units. I was a little more careless than I otherwise would have been. But we'll see what we can do next time. We're up to 1 star. We are about 86 points away from 2 stars and quite far away from 3 stars. So things are going to get interesting. We'll see how many of our forces we can actually get up and running for the next battle. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the game like I am, and hope you have a good one.